Hello and welcome. We're going to take a look at the miracle morning, which is a very specific way of going about and starting a morning, and take a look at the elements of it. How can we make the elements of it work for us? We're going to start right with the big idea. The idea of a miracle morning is taking some time for yourself to start the morning right, to start the morning in positivity, in this good mindset. All right, the 6 elements are silence, affirmations, visualize, exercise, read, and scribe, which is basically write. The ones that I want to talk about today are the visualize and the scribe, or the write. I have seen this big idea of changing my mindset, changing the way I'm feeling about the day and how I want to attack the day, has really been opened up from that particular space right there. And I'm sure the other parts can kind of help me as well, but that's what I've been working on, and so that's what we're going to talk about. I've seen so many different ways to approach it, and so I really appreciate that, because I think not everything is going to work for everyone. So being able to kind of take the idea of what does visualize mean to you, and then go from there, has been, I would say, eye-opening. So for me, what's really worked, I have this notebook that I've put together just because I wanted something that was just ready for me to do and not have to. Okay, so kind of a sidebar. I did try doing bullet journaling a long time ago, and I love doing bullet journaling because I got to be creative and do all this and that and make it exactly what I want. But then it became less about the journaling and more about the creation of the page. It came to the point where I didn't even want to do it anymore because it was getting so stressful. It's like, well, I got to come up with a new way to do it, and I don't know what to do, and I can't do the same thing over and over again. And it was like, this is defeating the purpose for what the bullet journal is supposed to be for. So I do enjoy journaling, but then I was putting way too much pressure on myself with the bullet journal. So I just decided I'm going to print out a page that has the same thing every single time. Here is an example page of what I have. And I will tell you again, I have taken it from somewhere else. I feel like I have no original ideas. All I have is I've taken other people's things and I've just accumulated it and tweaked it a little bit for myself. But I guess if it works. I decided that I tried it out and I really like it. I'm sticking with it. I've done it for a month now. And well, by the time you see this, it'll be 2 months. It has 3 components that I think are important for someone like me. One of the items in my visualization for the day is targets. And so targets can be very small, they can be very big, and it's a vague term, so you can decide I can decide what that means for the day. A lot of times they are things that I physically need to get done in reality. And then the 2 additional things that I think really make it more of a visualization type process, starting your day out right. So one piece is about gratitude, and I didn't really realize how important gratitude was. I read an article recently about, it was maybe a few months ago, and it really stuck out to me because when it was talking about gratitude and a purpose for having gratitude, not only is it because it's just good to be thankful for things and to remember things and to acknowledge them. And you might be hearing some noises. Somebody's trying to tell me that they're hungry. But it kind of it gets rid of slowly, it removes that vicious cycle of comparisons. And we've talked about this a little bit lately about just the comparing things and making something better and that kind of thing. So when it comes to gratitude, it makes you put on the brakes of the let's get better car and just stop and take a moment to appreciate what you have right now. And so it's really been helpful to me to think about and be thankful for something in the moment and not have to worry about making it better and making improvements. And it just gets those positive vibes going when you're thinking something that and being grateful for something. It's just It's a positive feeling and it makes you feel good. Then the third item on the paper is what will make today great. And I've learned with this one, it has to be something in my control. Sure, I could say what would make today great is if somebody were to hand me $1 million. I wrote that once. I was writing, it was about somebody, I hope that so-and-so doesn't do this or that. And then I realized, wait a minute, I can't control what they do. So I can only control my reaction to that. So that would make today great. If some so-and-so were to do that, then I just let it roll off my back and not get upset about it or whatever. The first thing that I learned was that I have more control over my day than I thought I did. I kind of feel like, and maybe you feel similarly, where I'm kind of just like in Forrest Gump. There's that feather that kind of just gets blown in the wind and it kind of gets tossed and turned all over the place wherever the wind wants it to go. And I feel like that's my life every day. And so, somebody needs me here, I'm over there. Somebody needs me over here, I'm over here. The situation pushes me this way and it pushes me that way. And I kind of just get tossed and turned wherever life takes me. And really that's my whole mentality about life. It's like, I'll just let life toss and turn me wherever I go. And there's a little bit of a loss of control. You feel like you don't really have the control. You feel like everyone else, the situation, life, people around you have the control. And then also there is an element of that you kind of give away the control because maybe that's what you're used to. Like for me, that's just what I'm used to. I'm just used to like, you decide, okay, we're gonna do this. We're going over here. Okay, sure, whatever. All right, I'm cool. And I mean, typically I am cool with it. I mean, sometimes I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. But what else gets tossed and turned are my emotions. And then I also feel like I don't have control over my emotions as well. I feel like it's others, it's the situation. And so with this whole like visualization thing where I'm really setting out what my day is going to look like, how I want it to be, then I feel like I have a little bit more control over my life and how I feel and how I want it to go. And that's really empowering. And it's something that I've definitely been lacking in my life and I didn't even realize it. I just felt like this is how everybody feels. Everybody feels like they're getting tossed and turned. And maybe that's not the case. Maybe some people feel like they have the power to exert a little bit more on the situation. It's something that I want to continue. I want to be in control over how I feel. I want to be in control over how my day looks. And so I can. I mean, of course, balance, right? I mean, there are times that I have to give and take. But instead of just letting everything kind of push me where it needs to go, I have a little bit more say in the entire matter. And then the other aspect would be the writing portion. And again, I do like writing. There's something about like physically writing something out that just helps me to get it out of my brain. If we're going to be talking about efficiency, because I talked about that in the last video, efficient would mean that I need to focus. And so what will help me focus is either talking it out or writing it, but I can't just like think about it. It's just not going to happen. With the writing portion, it's been an interesting journey. And so let's talk about some of the things that I learned so far. I learned a lot about myself when it came to the writing portion. I wouldn't be able to say everything just because there was just a lot of learning that I got from there. I am so impressed, and not in myself, but I'm just so impressed with the process that, oh my gosh, if I stop and I write out what I'm thinking, I can actually learn about myself. I can learn what I'm thinking and maybe even eradicate some wrong thoughts. It just blew my mind how effective it was to be able to have a way to get some information out of my brain and analyze it. And I would say the biggest thing for me, and I know that this is a topic for another video, was all about expectation. I'll tell you the story, but it's again rather silly. I happened to write something about, well, what's my expectation? Do I have to fill the whole page? I was like, wait a minute. Why would I ask a question like that about expectations? Who's putting these expectations on me? I mean, this is my book. I'm the only one looking at this. No one else is going to read this. Why am I even worried about what the expectations are? And it really got me thinking about that word, expectation. I would have never have thought about that had I not written about it first. So my goodness, this stuff about like thinking about it and however you want to think about it, oh my gosh, it's just been amazing. I am so amazed about all this stuff that is in my brain and all the learning that I made. And I am somebody who loves to learn. And I have not been tapping into this. I've been looking outward to find this new learning. And oh my gosh, some of this new learning is actually in here that I just haven't like put the pieces together to like have these new ideas come out. So she's really hungry. So the writing portion has definitely been helping me to process how I feel and what I'm thinking. And the visualization thing has definitely been helping me to really start my day out right. And both of those things together, I would say, have been really helpful in maybe I'm not figuring out all the answers. Maybe I'm not getting all the things visualized that I need to get done, but it's definitely kind of like releasing some positive vibes, but it's also releasing some calming vibes, because by kind of going through the process, it's helping me to not bottle things up as long as maybe I would have in the past. By letting things out, little bits here and there when it comes to my thoughts and feelings, has kind of lowered the pressure valve on in my brain and in my consciousness about things. So again, if this is something that you've tried, if you've heard the book, The Miracle Morning, if this is something that you've done, that you've incorporated, I'd love to hear what are the things that you're doing. I'd be very interested to hear what are some of the things that you've learned about yourself or about the process or anything. So I will see you again in about a month. Until then, I hope that you have time to think through your own thoughts and feel your own feelings, all the while getting to know yourself a little bit better. Bye. Ooh, I had to put her in my lap. She's like, feed me, feed me, feed me.